Hi everyone, and welcome to your 20-minute morning yoga flow. My name is Joelle. You don't need any props for today's practice, and we'll get started lying on our backs, making a big X shape with the body. So widening the feet about as wide as your yoga mat, and extending the arms overhead and widening them as well. You start to take some deep breaths. You might open and close the hands, point and flex the feet a few times. Starting to tune into your body, tune into your breath. And then bring your right hand, place it on top of your heart, before sliding that hand up towards your left palm, so the body will turn onto the left side. And then trace the length of that left arm back to place the right hand on the heart. Let's try that again, sliding the right hand up towards the left palm, and then bringing it back, sliding back onto your back. Beautiful. Extend the right arm up and overhead, and bring the left hand onto the heart now. We'll take the same motion 2 times, gliding that hand along the length of your right arm before returning it to the heart. And once more turning over onto your right side as you reach palm to palm, and then returning. Wonderful. You can bring the arms alongside the body now. We'll place the sole of the left foot to the mat, cross the right ankle over the left knee, and start to sway the hips a little bit gently from side to side. Waking up into those hips, finding a little bit of movement here. Breath is nice and deep. You might start to make this movement a little bit faster or a little bit bigger. Just noticing how the body is doing this morning. And then bring the legs back to center, still crossed, and you might encourage the legs in towards the chest now, holding on with both arms. And a few times start to lift and lower head and shoulders, so little baby crunches here. Exhaling to lift up, and inhaling to gently replace shoulders in the back of the head. And then you can release that motion. Uncross the legs. We'll take the same thing to the other side, crossing left ankle over right knee, beginning by swinging the legs gently from side to side. Slow at first, maybe picking up speed as you go, or perhaps making the movement progressively larger. You can open the arms out to the shape of the T if you're running out of room with them alongside the body. And eventually letting those legs come back towards the center now. And if there's space available, you might bring the legs in towards the heart, still with the ankle crossed over the knee. You can hold behind the thigh or in the front of the shin by interlacing the fingers. And a few times we'll lift and lower head and shoulders. So exhaling on the way up, and inhaling on the way down. Perhaps already observing if one hip feels a little bit more or less open this morning. Learning as we go about our own bodies. And then releasing that motion, returning the soles of the feet to the mat, and then hugging both knees into the chest, rocking side to side. before holding on behind the legs to roll forwards and back a few times, massaging through the length of the spine, and eventually making your way to hands and knees. So the hips stay above the knees, and we'll lower down onto the forearms. So shoulders above elbows. We'll take a few cat-cows from this position. So you can exhale as you round through the length of the spine. Inhale as you arch, bringing the chin in towards the chest on your exhale. And inhale, perhaps the gaze finds the sky. And let's take one more here. Still waking things up. And then releasing that motion, tucking the toes under. We'll sit back towards our heels, and you might keep the fingertips on the mat in front of you. Or you can really stretch out through the feet by bringing the hands to the top of the thighs. And you might even want to tuck your little toes in underneath. This is a very intense stretch for most of us through the soles of the feet, so important. Those feet will be carrying us around all day. Show them some love. Breathing through sensation. Let's just take 2 more deep breaths. You can do it. It's worth it. And then bringing the hands back in front of you, tapping out the tops of the feet to let that go. And we'll all meet in a downward facing dog, tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back. You can pedal out through the feet or shake out through the neck. Finding any small movements that feel nice for you. And eventually let's lift the right leg up, bend the knee, and start taking some circles with that right knee. So a few in each direction, animating through the articulation of that right hip. And then step that right foot forwards to the outside of the hands. You can stay up on fingertips as you lower the back knee and untuck the toes. Lizard pose. You might even take a few approximations of cat-cow here. Rounding and arching mostly through the upper back and neck here. Nodding the head up and down a few times. And then start to send your hips back and bring them back forwards. So alternating between this half-split lizard variation and a low lunge. Exhaling on the way back, inhaling forwards, linking breath to movement. And the next time your hips are back, just hold them here. Again, you can be on flat palms, fingertips, forearms. Sending breath and energy towards the back of that right leg. And then shifting forward, planting both hands to return to your downward facing dog. Very nice. Pedal it out. Shake that off. We're lucky enough to have a second side, so we'll start taking some circles now with the left knee. Again, feeling into any differences on this second side throughout the hips. A few times before reversing your circle. And once you've finished your next circle, stepping that foot to the outside of the hands, lowering the back knee for your lizard pose. Any variation that works for you today. And this time let's rock the head from one ear to the other. So getting a little bit of a gentle side to side motion here. Right ear towards right shoulder, left ear towards left shoulder. And Bring the head back to center, and again we'll shift the hips backwards and forwards a few times. Maybe exhaling on the way back, flexing through the foot, inhaling forwards, gentle squeeze through the glutes of the right leg every time you shift forwards. And the next time your hips are back, holding here, letting the upper body be soft, no tension in the shoulders or jaw. Bringing yourself forwards, once again planting both hands so we can find our downward facing dog to shake things off, pedaling it out. And begin to tiptoe the feet towards the hands, finding yourself at the top of the mat in a ragdoll fold, maybe holding opposite elbows. Wave the upper body from left to right a few times. And finding center, very slowly rolling your way up. Crown of the head finding the ceiling. Reach the arms tall, catch hold of your right wrist and lean the upper body over towards the left. Big side body stretch here. And then switching to the other side, right hand holding left wrist, finding space between the ribs, all the way down the left side of the body. And then releasing the arms, and we'll inhale them up tall once more, and this time exhale to cactus the arms, looking up towards the sky. We'll take a few standing cat-cows here. So you can exhale to bring the forearms together in front of you. Inhale to open up through the chest and upper back. You can bend the knees a little as you come forward and straighten the legs as you arch. Again, linking breath to movement here, finding your pace, and then releasing. Really nice. Take a big step back with the right foot, finding a high lunge with the left foot in front, and reach the arms tall, challenging our balance. Find a spot that is not moving here to gaze at with the eyes, and 3 times we'll lower and lift that right knee. So you might gently kiss the mat, or you might just slightly bend and straighten that right leg, your back leg. And then plant the hands to the mat, finding your plank pose, and lowering down to the mat. Maybe you lower the knees first. Bring both hands to the outside of your mat on fingertips. We'll inhale into a gentle cobra, then lowering down. Lifting and lowering, just 2 more here. Last one. And then press your way back up to plank and downward facing dog. And you're welcome to come through hands and knees first if that's a better option for you today. And stay in your down dog for a few breaths, releasing everything, before tiptoeing your way once more towards the front of the mat. And this time, interlace the fingers behind the back and bring that clenched fist up and over. You might like to sway the upper body a little bit from left to right here. Keep opening through the shoulders. And release to roll your way back up to standing. Roll the shoulders back. Reach the right arm up overhead and just lean the upper body towards the left. Left hand to your hip. And switching sides. Pressing down through the left heel as you reach that left arm towards the right. Again, creating space in the side body, and release. And let's take that big step back this time with the left leg, ending up in our high lunge, right leg forwards, reach the arms tall. And 3 times we'll lower and lift that back knee, maybe a slight bend, maybe the knee actually finds the mat. And once you've done all 3, we can return the hands to the mat. We'll find our plank pose, one long line of energy from the heels to the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, lower yourself all the way down. Fingertips to the outside of the mat as we inhale to lift up, and lower down 2 more. Maybe you notice there's a little bit more space this time around. Upper back feeling strong. And let's press our way back to child's pose, hips towards the heels, arms reaching long in front of you. Find your breath. And let's roll our way up to seated. You can take any comfortable seat that you like, perhaps sitting cross-legged as I am. To roll the shoulders back and then bring the right arm across the body, latching on with your left elbow. Just lift and lower that right shoulder a few times. So again, creating space throughout the joints. Strengthening. And then just lean the entire upper body over towards the left. Arms are still crossed here before letting that go. Shake things off. We'll try the other side, bringing left arm right across your chest, holding on with that right forearm to lift and lower the left shoulder a few times. Really nice, and eventually kind of using that right arm to pull the left arm a little bit further over towards the right, leaning that entire upper body over, grounding down through your left sit bone, and returning to center, let that go. Take a gentle twist towards the right, looking over that back shoulder. Maybe the left hand holds the right knee. One more deep breath in this twist before coming back through center and twisting left. Again, observing if the twist on one side might have felt a little different from the first. And finding the center once more to roll the shoulders back, swaying a little bit from side to side, asking yourself how you feel. And all together, let's bring the hands to the heart, thanking ourselves and each other. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I would also encourage you, if you enjoyed this practice, to try my 10-day morning yoga challenge, which you can find by clicking the first link in the description box below. Namaste.